Hello everyone and welcome back to
The Lo and Zoe Show.
Today we are talking to you guys about two different avenues for manifesting anything that you want, and we really feel that this is such an important conversation to have in terms of whether or not you go. Do you want to talk about what the two sides are, or the two avenues?
Yeah, the two avenues are powerfully manifesting, so actively working on and towards your manifestations, versus being in surrender or flow.
Yes, so whether or not you go with one or the other, they both have different perks, and we're going to share what those are with you guys today. So stay tuned. I'm Lo.
And I'm Zoe, and this is
The Lo and Zoe Show. We're coaches and entrepreneurs who firmly believe that an abundant mind is the key to an abundant life.
On this podcast, we're going to be talking everything from how to manifest more money, travel, success in business, and beyond,
to overcoming the blocks that are holding you back,
to rewiring your brain so you can easily attract whatever it is you want the most in life.
If you haven't already, be sure to join us inside our Facebook community, the Queen Mind Tribe, for daily tips, mindset hacks, manifesting tricks, and more that'll allow you to build the confidence you need
to manifest the abundant AF life you deserve.
Now let's get started. All right, so before we get started today, we wanted to remind you guys that our program, Queen Confidence Academy, is a few days now into our launch, and it's only going to be open until next Tuesday night. So there's no early bird pricing or anything like that this time. If you want to sign up, then please dive in and just allow this program to really change who you are on a deep level and become that manifestor that you came here to be. So talking about our program really inspired today's topic, and Zoe and I were talking about how we have produced big results in our lives and in our businesses and the mindset practices that have gotten us there. So Zoe and I decided to embrace something in October. We called it Open October. And essentially what that meant was that for the entire month of October, we didn't make any real plans in our business. So for me, what that would look like is launching specific programs. I initially was going to launch my mastermind again. I decided not to. I decided to just live in flow, live in surrender, and see what came my way.
Yeah, and for me as well, it just was totally living in flow and surrender, and really focusing in on that state of mind. So not letting doubts come in, limiting beliefs come in, and I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, like, I had ideas come to me that did end up producing income for myself. And there was a lot of perks of going about being in a state of flow and surrender for the month of October and not trying to determine where the money was going to come from for me. And so this was like a really good opportunity for that. And both of us had things manifest out of nowhere that really didn't have a lot to do with the actual work we were putting in. So there was abundance, there was money coming to us in ways that we hadn't predicted because we weren't trying to. And what we both found was at the end of the month, we had all the money that we needed for everything that we wanted to purchase and everything that we needed to pay for in terms of our bills. So that was a nice thing to realize, that you can let go and be taken care of.
Exactly. And taken care of to the point where abundance is left over. We got everything we wanted from the month. I mean, it's not over yet at the time that we're recording this. We got everything we wanted from this month and more. And we weren't, let's say, hustling at coffee shops every single day or trying to come up with a brand new shiny idea. We just decided, okay, let's live in a state of flow and see what comes to us.
I'm going to actually rephrase that a little bit for myself, because I don't feel that I got everything that I wanted. I feel that I got everything that I needed and then a little bit more. And that was the main distinction that, at least for me, I wanted to make on this episode, which was I got what I needed to pay my bills, to, it's not like I live a cheap lifestyle or anything like that, but I didn't feel like, had I launched my mastermind per se, I think that I definitely would have made more money. And so this is the main thing that we are wanting to just sort of establish with you guys today in terms of whether or not we are embracing that state of, just allowing, and what the differences are in terms of outcomes, versus really stepping into your own power and being in a place of insisting on what you want. And this was the place that I've come from in my business, which is getting really clear on what I wanted and insisting that I get it, and insisting, like really locking in on that outcome and developing the confidence needed to actually believe that what I want is coming. And so we kind of just wanted to draw a comparison today between what happened for us when we embraced surrender versus what has happened in the past when we embrace power. And this is sort of like the two, manifestation. There's sort of two ways of going about it and two sort of messages out there. And one is to live in complete surrender, and one is to be really specific about what you want and insist on getting it.
Yes.
Essentially, right? And so we're not saying that one is better than the other. We're saying that in our experience, you can expect two different outcomes. So Zoe, do you want to talk about what has happened for you in past months when you've been in more of like stepping into that queen confident mind. That this was really where the queen mind came from, was helping women, helping people to step into their confidence and to their power in like, I'm getting what I freaking want.
Yeah. So with that up-leveled power that Laura's talking about, with the taking action and everything that comes with that, working on your mindset every single day, and it's still something we're doing, is working on our mindset every single day, but in this different way where we're taking action. We're cultivating the energy that we need to move forward in our businesses and working on that and working on those types of visualizations. So when I've harnessed that power, fully stepped into it, I've had incredible money months.
Yes.
Yeah. I've had incredible money months. You know, since I moved back to Toronto, and it's been about almost 6 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. Okay. So about 6 months now, I can say that, the first month I arrived here was a very insistent month for me. And I was working very hard, and I made a significant amount of money, more than I've made ever before in a month. And then, what was it, September? Was my big month, or August?
It was August.
Yeah, August. I had another huge month. And just completely up-leveled. And those were 2 months where I was just like stepping into a whole new level. And I actively started off the month with those intentions. This month, I am abundant AF, and I'm fully into this power. I've got excited about the power, and that's why the power kept, or the energy, I suppose, kept coming to me. And I just kept taking action through that power and just insisting that the universe was going to deliver on my money goals.
Yeah, and it's that, like, when we say insisting, that's what we mean is setting the intention and then insisting that it comes, and not insisting from a place of lack or scarcity or worry, insisting from a place of power, of like, universe, I love you, and here what it is that I'm asking for, and I expect it to come. Because when we say insisting, what we're talking about is expectation.
Yeah.
Right? You're always just you want to know what you are attracting, look at what you're expecting.
And that's exercising your worth. Yes. You're acknowledging, I am worthy of this goal. Universe, deliver it.
Yes.
And there's a difference in that, as Laura said, lack versus abundance. It's like when you step into that power, you know that the abundance is yours and you're expecting it. And there's no doubt and there's no lack present, because you are like, universe, deliver it. I know so deep inside that I am worthy of every penny.
Yes, absolutely. And you're stepping into that power. And this is really where like QCA comes in, Queen Confidence Academy, is having you guys step into that power. And it might be that what resonates with you is more of a surrender mindset when it comes to how you grow your business. But it might be that embracing this feeling of, I don't want to use the word control, but it is about being more intentional about where you want your money to come from. QCA is going to help you step into the version of you who can set those specific intentions and insist that they come.
Yes.
Right? And so for me, it's been interesting because I have one program that I've launched now 4 times. It's called LBA, and it has produced a lot of the income that I've experienced over the last year. It was just a segue into going full-time in my business and everything else beginning to work. And I launched my mastermind based on the success I had had in that program. And the first 3 times I launched it, it was steadily increasing. And when I would launch it, I'd have a big launch plan. I had like thousands of people, well, actually no, like about 1,500 people sign up for the launch itself, like the free training that I was doing. And I would just flow all of my energy, all of my expectation into the results that this program was going to produce. So that was like, I think it was like 18 people sign up the first time, then I had about 21, then I had 25 when I launched it in May, and I used that money to move to Toronto. And then this past September, I launched it again, and I actually kind of played a game of letting go of how many people I was expecting, or I took a more easy approach to it, which I don't regret at all, but honestly, I was disappointed in the results, being that I didn't have expectation around this launch. I let it go to the universe. And instead of saying, this is what I want and I'm going to have it, and like that's honestly been my mindset through a launch, it's like, this is what I want, universe, hear me. And it doesn't mean that every single time I hit my goals, it doesn't mean that I don't have any doubt. But for the most part, I'm in an energy of power. And this last September, I came more from an energy of detachment. And to be honest, like I had 10 people sign up, which was like far less than half the number of people. And I know that there's always, I still had the 1,500 people sign up for the training itself. I have a group that's almost 10,000 people where I just launched this one program. Like I have access, and then I have affiliates who have their own groups with like 10,000 people. Like I have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And this is a program that not a lot of other people are offering. Actually, no one else is offering the mindset work to this market. So anyways, there's just like unlimited potential. And I kind of let go of it with that intention of like, maybe if I get out of my own way, I will just be amazed at like maybe 100 people, maybe 200 people will sign up. But instead, it was like the less I thought about it, the less results I got. And I think that for me, the other things did manifest in that time. And maybe it's the universe sort of directing me towards something that's a bit more aligned with where I'm going. But short term, I mean, I did have expectations for the money that I was hoping that launch would bring in, which I then had to figure out how to make up in other places. And it just sort of, I don't know, it was a little bit of a disempowering experience, to be completely honest. Everything has totally worked out instead, but the results were just very different. So I guess for me, it's like knowing, and this is what we want to kind of drill in for you guys today, knowing which one of those approaches to implement and when, and which one resonates for you. So for me, like, I like being intentional. I like saying, this is how much money I want to make. And I mean, that month in September was by far my most lucrative month that I've had in my business. It came from other places, but I think that for me, I like being very intentional. Like October, I wasn't intentional. I didn't have goals other than to be able to pay for everything. And it's like, that was all that it manifested for me. It was like a fraction of what September was. So what would you say, Zoe, about when to implement each of these two different approaches?
It depends with where you're at and where your goals are and how much structure you have in your business already, I would say. So for example, if you are creating avenues and already have avenues created for the universe to deliver income, so I'll just use my life as an example. So YouTube, the books that I've published, coaching, there's 3 ways that the universe can deliver money. And then there's also magical money that can come in from unexpected places. So if I feel excited about making a new money milestone goal in my life or like my business, I can generally feel like, oh, it's time. I don't know. I would say like it's, for me, it's like a feeling inside. I look at the month ahead and maybe I'm not traveling at all and I'm here and I'm ready and willing to work. Then, okay, awesome. I'm going to set some serious intentions and work for it. And then, yes, I do produce better results than when I am in a state of surrender. But the reason why Open October felt aligned with me this time was because I had a previous successful month, very successful month. And then I knew that, okay, you know what? I'm going to Costa Rica on a spiritual retreat. Why don't we just theme this as I Open October and see what happens? Laura and I always talk mindset and law of attraction, so we also like to be our own guinea pigs with things that we're bringing to you guys to the table. And for me, yeah, I didn't make as much money as I have in previous months because I wasn't as intentional. There's still a few days left though, you know. Yeah. I'm always open to the universe delivering. But what I did find was that, you know, the universe met what needed to be met, but at the same time I know that I'm capable of putting in a lot more work, and I do feel better about myself when I step into my powerful version, when I step into my queen goddess version and I totally become the magnet, and then I get super excited about all the magical results that are coming in. I'm just generally have higher energy each day. Higher energy as in like I bounce out of bed and I get everything done and I'm here and everywhere. And it's not to say that I haven't been like that this month, but I've just overall been more relaxed, chill, not spending as much time hustling in coffee shops type of thing.
And like, there's totally a place for that. And 2 of the books I often recommend to people is one called The Surrender Experiment, and another is by Tasha Silver called Outrageous Openness. And both of them are about really just embracing like the universe's plan. And there's absolutely a place for that. And it's also not to say that if we continued with like Open November, maybe there is something big in the way of a big idea that would come to us in a state of openness. But I know for me right now in my business, in my life, it helps my mindset to have some control there. It helps my mindset to have some intentionality, because otherwise I kind of default into this like, well, my needs will be met. Yeah. But I don't just want my needs to be met, because that is met with some resistance, right? Of like, I want to feel like I have an abundance of money all the time. And at this point in my business, that takes me choosing it. I have to choose the abundance of money, or else the default is like, well, I know that I'll have what I need, but not much more. And so that's what ended up happening.
And what I have to say about that is that both of us are ambitious individuals. Like we are ambitious people and we love to be ambitious. So that when we're choosing to have a month like Open October, we're actively choosing to settle down a little bit.
I actually had more anxiety in October because I wasn't doing as much, and it was great. I like having some time off for sure. And I think like embracing more of the letting go for me has been huge, and like definitely happy about that. But I had days where I was like, I feel like I should be working, and it actually really puts me into alignment when I am working.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that as well. And there's something to be said about going to a coffee shop and being productive and just that feeling that you have from the collective energy in that space. You see people working around you, people are working towards their goals. You get dressed up nice to go to the coffee shop. There's this whole other energy that you're bringing to the table when you're actively choosing to step into your ambition and make things happen by taking action.
Yeah, and so just to sort of like sum up what both of those two things are, and then talk a little bit about who you need to be in order to embrace one over the other, and how to get there. But so the first one, like we said, is stepping into your power and insisting on what you want. Like saying, this is the result that I want. And we're not saying that you can produce exactly what you want all the time, but you can get pretty freaking close. Like the reason I had by far my biggest month in September was because I had a money goal that actually exceeded where I even ended up getting. And that was what I was flowing energy into. And I was taking action in line with that bigger goal. The doubt that was still there for me, you know, hindered the result a little bit, but it was still an incredibly successful month for me. Like a number that like I couldn't have even imagined a few years ago in terms of making that amount of money in 30 days for myself. So that's the number one, is like choose what you want and insist on it. And the thing is that like you find detachment in your power because you're in a state of confidence of like, this is what I want. And I know that because I'm a powerful freaking creator, it's this or something better. And like the universe has my back.
And with that detachment also brings in the aspect of flow. And I think both of us have just given the major examples of just our business and money mindsets in this different space of powerfully manifesting versus surrender. But I think that there's much more of a place for surrender in, say, let's say the dating world or something like that. Because you can go out and you can take action. And if you're fully stepped into your power, you are detached. And in that way, it's considered a surrender or flow aspect. And you're trusting the universe to deliver the right person or the right situations to you. Whereas, you know, when you do have specific goal intentions like money, this is something much more, as you said, the word control. Like you like to have control over that to some extent. And, you know, that gives us power in that way. So I think that both of these aspects definitely have a place. And I would say powerfully manifesting overall for the both of us has been much more successful in our businesses. Yeah.
So on the other side, obviously, is surrender. And I didn't feel as like confident in myself, to be honest. The process of up-leveling your mindset, I fully believe that in a couple of years from now, I could completely surrender a month and have it be hugely successful for me and not like need to take action in order to feel good about myself or anything like that. But it's a process. And so when I'm in my power, when I'm in my confidence, that's when I'm like showing up big. And that's also when I would attract the relationship that I wanted, for instance, is when I'm in that power, that lookout world, because here I come. You should probably get out of my way. I'm just like, I have some of these quotes that are for like the queen mind kind of thing. But we've both decided that what we feel resonates with us is more of the insisting on getting what you want and finding detachment and flow within that state of mind.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we kind of decided like, who is it for? Who is the insistent mindset for versus who is the surrendered mindset for? And I think the first one is more for the people who are very ambitious.
Who are entrepreneurs.
They're entrepreneurs and they want to work towards what they want, and they want to be able to say, guess what? This is going to be my biggest month yet, and then actually have that come into fruition.
Because they're excited about it. And that powerful energy that you bring when you are fully embodying excitement, that's magic right there. Because you know that anything that you put your energy into will be successful. That's inevitable, and that's you fully stepping into your power.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the time surrender comes from this place of almost like disempowerment.
Yeah, like I give up. Show me the way.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing, but it's kind of low vibe.
Yeah, it just sounds. It sounds low vibe. It does have a space, though, of course.
Yes.
If you are feeling a little bit lost or a little bit unsure, and then surrendering and allowing the universe's guidance to present itself.
Right.
And I've definitely used this on a somewhat daily basis, I would say, with any little questions that present themselves into my mind where I can't seem to find the answer within. I ask the universe to just make it clear.
Yeah, and I mean, what comes to mind is just my apartment that manifested for me in the summer, which it manifested because I surrendered out of that, like, well, I've tried and it's not working, but I was still insistent and committed that I was going to find my dream place. So it's not like I was like, screw this, I'm just going to live with my parents for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I was like, the right place is coming, and me trying to make it happen doesn't seem to be working, or I was just gaining clarity at that point. And so I was still committed. I surrendered in an energy and in a space of still being committed to getting what I wanted. And that's really where we're wanting you to get. And you have to be at a certain level of confidence in order to even be able to achieve that mindset, right?
Yeah.
And so
for sure.
that's where our program QCA comes in, where up-leveling your confidence so that you can be someone who insists on getting what she wants and is like, I'm also so great that I don't need to be attached to this. Universe, let me know. It's both of those things, right?
Exactly.
And it comes from a state of being.
And I can say that about my apartment too, is I came to Toronto and looked for 1 week. I had 1 week to find an apartment. I found the building I wanted to be in online, and I only looked at apartments in that building, and I just insisted that that's where I was going to live.
Yeah, I think that you maybe were clearer from the beginning of what you wanted, what you really wanted, which was like a level up apartment. Whereas I was kind of acting out of fear in the beginning in trying to find an apartment that felt more like my old apartment and felt more comfortable for where I was at. And the universe was like, no.
No, the universe was like, you've done the work, girl.
Yeah.
I'm going to reward you. Let me reward you.
Exactly. So it took me longer just because I needed the clarity on what was actually going to serve me at this point in my life, whereas you knew immediately what you needed and what you wanted, and the universe was like, yep, here you go.
Yeah.
Right?
But even in that, I still had to, I insisted and then immediately went over to surrender. I've come to Toronto for a few days. I've looked at the apartment. I found the one.
Yeah.
I felt it was the one, and I, put in my application for it, and then I was up to surrender.
Yeah.
If it was meant to be mine, it would be mine. And I completely had to detach from that outcome.
It's like choosing insistence or choosing like, this is what I want and I'm unavailable for anything less. And then getting it to the point where you've done everything that you can. You gave your application and it's like, all right, universe, tell me what I'm supposed to do here. Or like you decide. So, but that takes a certain state of being and feeling about yourself in terms of the confidence that you have.
Yeah,
right?
and I would say it's not easy to get to that point, honestly, to be able to flick the switch on and off. Like,
definitely not.
Full insistent, full surrender.
Right. Well, and this is why, like, we love our program so much, because this is what we teach you, how to just naturally, how to naturally feel this way about yourself in terms of, like, being the powerful creator that you were born to be. And that is what the queen mind is. That is what queen confidence is. It's like, I will have nothing less than what I want, and the universe has my back on this, so I can afford to both insist on it and take a step back.
And even more so, that you fully deserve.
Yes,
you fully deserve that is what you want. It is yours. It's inevitable for you. Those types of thoughts are the ones that run your mind.
Yes, absolutely. Not settling. Settling comes out of a lack of confidence. Of like, I can't really have what I want. And you said like the surrender might come in more with something like a relationship. And I totally agree, except that also having that, being in your power, being in your confidence is going to have you be like, I want the world's most eligible bachelor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have it because have you met me? I'm amazing.
Yeah, I know. And
like we want you guys to feel this way about yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
And I mean, what I can say about those different aspects is that I'm insisting that I'm going to have the greatest love of my life that's possible for me.
Yes.
I'm insisting on the greatest love. And where I'm in a state of surrender and flow is the universe determining who that person is for me.
Right.
So I'm very much insistent on my end goal or the outcome of this situation. And I'm in flow about who the universe is bringing in or taking out. And I'm just observant of that.
Yeah. And this is really, again, what our program is all about, or like the daily mindset work that we recommend to our clients that we do every single day, is turning you into this person who's just like, I get everything that I want with the universe by my side. Thank you very much. And so stepping into that power, you absolutely can take a, more state of surrender approach to it. But one thing we wanted to say was that one of them produces fast results and one of them is a more gradual unfolding. And neither one is right or wrong, but all the coaches and entrepreneurs I follow who have just come out of nowhere and produced $1 million businesses within a couple of years, they have all had that state of mind of like, this is what I want. And it's going to happen.
Unavailable for anything other.
And there's also people who are in more of a state of flow with the universe and allowing the universe to decide. And that works for them as well. But at least from what I've observed in other people and in myself as well, is that way of going about things takes a lot longer.
It takes a lot longer, and I mean, it's different types of people. Like I spoke back, we're ambitious. I mean, I'd be curious as to who these flow people who live in that state, what their star signs are. I'd really like to look at their charts, to be honest, because, I mean, I don't think I could ever pull myself to completely being like that. I like to work. I like to work.
I'm stubborn. I want all the experiences. I want all of the abundance, everything that life has to offer. I want all the richness from day to day. And it's like in insisting on that, I pull it towards me.
Yes.
And I mean, that's one other thing is the more intentional you are, the more insistent you are, the more energy you are flowing towards what you want. So I was just telling Zoe the example of like when I've had a 2.5 week program launch, it's so much time that I can't keep the energy high with it. Whereas when I have like a 4 or 5 day program launch, it's the only thing that I'm thinking about in those 4 or 5 days, and the results come in quick because of that energy, right? And actually, there's a Jen Sincero part of her book, I think it's in You're a Badass at Making Money, where she talks about manifesting $10,000 in a week. That's what her coach wanted her to do, but she said, no, I'm doing it in the next 2 days. And she did. She manifested $15,000 out of nowhere in 2 days because she was like, I have to keep my full energy in this. So when you're setting these strong intentions, think about the amount of energy flow that is behind that and the way that the universe responds to that versus like just sort of more general flowy intentions. Again, nothing wrong with either one. It's just about the type of person that you are.
Yeah, it's being insistent. That's the key behind it. The Jen Sincero situation is she's insistent. I'm going to have this. I must have this. She's fully stepped into the power. It is hers, and it happens for her.
Yeah. So that's really what our program is all about, is you guys becoming that powerful AF version of you. Like, and it's a program that you can wire into your brain. It doesn't even take that long.
Yes.
And you can start calling forward big results very quickly. Or you can choose to, in that confidence, in that trust, embrace more the flow and surrender state if that's what speaks to you as well.
But in 4 weeks' time, it's time to up level.
Yeah.
And you will get transformation. The success stories from the last round of QCA were absolutely incredible. And I can't wait to see the results this time and work with those of you out there who are going to sign up.
Yeah. All right. So that's our episode for today. Anything else, though?
All good. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Thank you guys so much for spending a piece of your day with us and tuning into the Lo and Zoe Show.
If you enjoyed this episode, please take the time to rate it and share on social media. Be sure to tag us.
Until next time,
stay abundant.